Fodder is a particular food given to animals specifically to feed domesticated livestock such as cattle, rabbits, sheep, horses, chicken, and pigs. Some of it includes hay, straw, silage, compressed and pelleted feeds, oils, and mixed rations, sprouted grains and legumes. Many dairy farmers in Kenya are using fodder to feed their animals. But the question is, are they using the correct feeding ratios and crop mixture to help boost milk production on their farm? Mr. Samuel Gatimo, a young entrepreneur and a farmer, is an expert in fodder management. Samuel, the CEO and founder of Lesser Farms, a company that offers consultancy to dairy farmers on best dairy management practices, especially fodder feeding and management. Samuel considers his experience and interactions with farmers has educated them on the best feeding practices with forage. In this episode, Samuel will take us through introduction of fodder, the fodder crops that are available to dairy farmers, and the nutritional value of the fodder crops.
Fodder is anything that is edible to the animal. This will vary in terms of fiber, palatability, and nutrition. That's why it's very important for you to balance the fodder to give the required nutrition per head, per herd. Today we want to look at desmodium. Desmodium is a leguminous fodder which is rich in protein and also minerals. We also have lucerne. Lucerne is also a protein fodder which is also rich in protein and minerals. We have tufted grass, that is a family of napier, rhodes, and also we have another category of grain fodder, that is sorghum, Sudan grass, maize, and sometimes we do a mix of all those to make up a silage. When we talk about fodder, there are so many things that we can look in as we address fodder. Number one, we can look at planting. For instance, when you plant napier, you use a distance of 2 feet by 2 foot per cut or split. If you're using desmodium, you're using a spacing of 1 foot by 1 foot. If you're using the sweet potato, because sweet potato is also a fodder that is rich in protein and good for calves at weaning stage, you use 45 centimeters by 30 centimeters apart. Like for instance, in this farm, we have seen the farmer has integrated 2 fodders. One, he has used desmodium. This is one variety of desmodium, though we have other 2 varieties that I'm going to look at. This is very common, and this is the commercial desmodium that we have in the market. So what the farmer has done here, he has tried to integrate 2 fodders, the protein fodder and the fibrous fodder. So napier will serve as the fibrous fodder that will help in digestion, though it is poor in protein. Like in this stage, we are talking about 9% crude protein and 9 kilojoules energy. That is the nutrition that will be passed to the animal. So the farmer has basically integrated now the desmodium, which at this stage is at 23% crude protein, higher than napier, which is 9. So you can see the balance that he's trying to do. And then it is poor in it is good in what we call digestible fodder, fiber. This is now the fiber that a cow can digest and utilize for body maintenance, reproduction, production, and also growth. There are benefits of intercropping fodder. For instance, if you're doing napier or Sudan grass or rhodes, and then you integrate with desmodium, you benefit a lot. Number one, the napier, as you can look at the napier, it's very green. That will transform into energy because nitrogen is converted into protein, and then now the nitrogen that is required by the napier is fixed by the desmodium. That is automatic. Again, when you get manure from a dairy cow, the cow has depleted a lot of minerals from the manure. So basically the manure is not that rich to support growth of all this. So mostly the energy is low and also the phosphorus is low. So the only thing that a farmer can support is to fertilize with NPK, that is nitrogen, potassium and potash, to supplement what is lacking. But basically in terms of nitrogen, it is well covered because the desmodium will assist the fixing of nitrogen. So when you have a stand like this, when it's fodder, basically you need to put fertilizer like 17, 17, 23, 23. That will work best for this herd. Most farmers don't know why we should manage our fodder. At this stage, the farmer can preserve the fodder into silage, into hay, depending on the weather and the need and the mass production per unit. That if the fodder is excess, a farmer can opt to do silage, and if the weather is good, the farmer can just cut, dry and then store and can feed later.
If farm animals are to be productive, it is important that they get suitable food in sufficient quantities. In milk production, for example, cows producing milk should be given fresh grass and possibly other feeds of sufficient protein content. Why is fodder farming important to farmers, and how do they benefit from growing fodder crops?
You cut the cost of production because most farmers will always suffer for one thing. The cost of production is higher than the market price that you get for the milk. Like for instance here in Kirinyaga, farmers will always sell their milk at 35 shillings, 30 to 40 shillings per liter. That's a bit low because if the cost of production goes high, the profit margin will always come to low, and even breaking points will not be reachable at that point. So it's good a farmer to establish their own fodder and learn how to preserve them so that they can cut the cost of production.
Many dairy farmers in Kenya are familiar with napier grass as the best fodder crops, especially the small-scale farmers. Yet in reality, there are several fodder crops that farmers can plant to feed their animals. These fodder crops are the Sudan grass, desmodium, lucerne, green maize, forage sorghum, Rhodes grass, legumes, sweet potato vines, Kikuyu grass, and star grass. With all these fodder crops available, farmers have an array of choices to use to increase production on their farms. Samuel's advice to farmers is they can plant 2 types of fodder on their farm, which will help to maximize the profit margin in production at the farm.
The best thing you can do is to integrate 2 fodders because of what we call population per square. Plant will always compete for nutrients, and when you over intercrop, basically you will pass no nutrition to the animal, or you will have a poor fodder production. So like for instance, it's good to do either napier and desmodium, or you do Rhodes and desmodium. But you see, for sweet potato, you cannot intercrop with any other crop. The whole ground will be covered. So the emerging of other roots, or the penetration of other roots, will be impossible. So there are fodders you can just do as pure stand, but there are fodders that you can intercrop.
Samuel states that it is important for a farmer, especially a dairy small-scale farmer, to include fodder crops in their farm.
Basically, why you do the fodder plantation as a farmer, most dairy farmers, about 75% of the dairy farmers that we have in Kenya are small scale. So basically they cannot be able to keep on purchasing this fodder from other farms, because now running 2 animals, it becomes expensive than a person who is doing a herd of 100, whereby transport will almost be the same. So it is basically to lower the cost of production. Number 2, it's to check the nutrition value, because when you do your own fodder, you're able to check the nutrition by yourself. Like for instance, if this napier goes beyond this level, the crude protein will go low as 4.5%. which is low, because a cow will need about 16% crude protein. Now, when you minus 16 from 4, where do you get the other deficit? Yeah, so basically it's good for a small-scale farmer to learn to do their own fodder production and preservation as well.
The nutritive value of feed for livestock is determined by its content of dry matter, crude protein and crude fiber, digestibility of organic matter, and the voluntary intake of other nutrients. For milking animals, the concentration of calcium and phosphorus is important. Many dairy farmers believe that Napier must grow tall for it to have the much nutrition value in it. Samuel differs with this misconception as he explains which stage has a high nutrition value.
The best Napier will always offer good nutrition at 3 feet height, which is slightly what we have here. Past this stage, you are going to have a lot of indigestible fiber, which now will be passed as waste, and then the energy level will also go down. So this will also interfere with the body score of the animal. The body score is how well the muscles are set in that animal frame.
Feeding animals with good quality fodder helps to improve the health and energy levels for quality milk and meat production. What many farmers are landing their hands on currently are dry old grass, dry stalks, and any other kind of dry fodder, which certainly is of poor quality. There are many best methods that a farmer can use to feed fodder to their animals to minimize wastage and increase production in their farm.
Mechanization is a way of improving utilization in the farm. So I believe when you chop, you allow the animal to feed more and have less waste of your fodder. Because now when you talk about fodder management, we are talking about the leftovers after the cow has fed, and then how much fodder has gone through the mouth to the stomach for utilization. Yes. So I think chopping is very important just to enhance feeding and also to carbon fodder waste management. You can do at least 2, at most 4. The reason why you do at most 4, it's pirating the nutrition value of these fodders. Like for instance, desmodium and the sweet potato tend to almost be equal in terms of nutrition value, and also lucerne and desmodium, these are just proteinous fodder, and when you have a lot of protein, actually they are passed out because the animal cannot convert the protein into any storage into the body, unlike energy that can be conserved as fat. So the rods will offer the fiber that is needed.
Unlike other food crops that a farmer can plant to indulge crop rotation, fodder crops are very special. This is because they regrow but not for a long period of time. This helps to prevent nutrients from being consumed in the soils. Napier grass and desmodium are trimmed and let to regrow. How should a farmer achieve fodder growth management to maximize production?
Desmodium can last about 8 seasons to 10 seasons under good management, because you see the farmer has just cut the Napier and you can see the regrowth over there. So it is able to regerminate again and have the stand again. So with good management, what you need to do is just cut above the ground. You don't cut it from the bottom. So when you cut from the bottom, you cut the roots and it cannot regrow again, or with time it is depleted. So you will have no desmodium. So, but when you cut just above the ground, you are able to have the regrowth again, and you're able to benefit for, like, let's say 4 years to 10 years, no, to 5 years. That's about 8 seasons to 10 seasons.
We are taking a short commercial break, and we will be right back with more on fodder planting, how to separate weeds from fodder, and maximization of the fodder crop.